Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is March 12th and we are over here in my water plant. And as you can see, especially by this running, we do have the tiered or grade 7 water set up. I don't think I've clicked the quest, however. Let's see. Grade 7. Quest time? Maybe? How many do we need for the quest? UEV. Oh, I didn't need any of that. Fair enough. I didn't realize I already had the quest from grabbing this, so that's kind of funny. Anyways, not important. What is important though is this is basically the only thing I did today. Aside from obviously like upping my power over here and before I get to this real quick, the little things that I had to do to get to this, essentially were, and I didn't technically have to do them, was I upped the number of parallels all these guys had substantially because I also upped this guy from the UHV energy hatch to the UEV energy hatch. Or I might even have that wrong. It might have even been a UV energy hatch. Either way, big upgrade because I was running like 8 parallels. Well, actually, this one I think I was at 256. But either way, these two I'm running at like 2,000 parallels. This one, which is grade 3 and grade 4 up over here, I cut that by 4 just to keep the same amount of energy usage. Then cut it by 4 again. So this one and grade 4 were at 500 parallels. 5 and 6 are at 125 parallels. And grade 7, I just converted it to 32 parallels. To also do that and to make sure I could actually, I had to go through and swap out all my input hatches. I had kind of like a random hodgepodge going on of different input hatches, but these UV ones will hold me over for a while. I'm imagining at some point I'll probably need to upgrade, not this one, this one's got the water reservoir, but this one's input hatch to be something crazier. Or even if I ever move past the point of 2 billion water at a time not being enough, upgrading this one, but I think that will be fine. Aside from that, though, really building this, I just went with the schematic. I didn't build this by hand. And then from there, it was just automating. Before I got to automating, though, I will say I did have some trouble with getting the multi-block to form, even though I built it with the schematic. I don't really understand what was wrong besides this degasser control hatch, which is supposed to be on here. I originally had it up here from the schematic. I moved over to this side because it's where I wanted to put it. And then it still wouldn't form. And I finally dropped down here. Now I'm seeing these hatches. I didn't realize these were here. Interesting. I wonder if those were causing any problems before. That's probably going to avoid something. That's fine. I don't want these here. Boom, 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 boom. You know what? Actually, I bet that was what was causing me problems. You know what? I know exactly what the problem was. Processing recipe. Okay. So it's going to be angry for a second. But that's fine. We only got 20 seconds while we're on this cycle. I wonder if I'm short on water somewhere else too. And we'll wait the 7 seconds together. No, I get why I couldn't form it earlier. It had nothing to do with the gas or hatch. Okay, sweet. It's working. It's actually because this log had mushrooms on top of it, so it would have blocked this block from being put down, and it would be the last set that gets dropped. So because this block didn't go down, these didn't go, and then I didn't realize that because you can actually tell I didn't realize that because the white cobblestone under here is not quite right. Cobblestone. It's pretty funny. Nice. So anyways, for the actual automation, we'll hop up to here. I decided to just do everything right on top. There's a lot of space up here. So this looks a lot crazier than it really is. It's also little overkill, and as per usual, kind of the result of a few iterations since I really didn't know what I was doing. I also want to make sure this is on 8 ticks. So if it's 16 ticks. Okay. And then actually the other thing I wanted to do was minus this 2 here. I'll explain all that in a second. So basically what we got going on, if we were to look at the water purification plant over here, we've got this crazy tooltip going on. But really this is easier if you take it in a few pieces. The big thing to know if you've never messed around with binary or bits or any of that, like writing numbers like that, is you do what I did to refresh my memory. I just Googled bits in our bits from 0 to 15 and just had it listed out, and then you'll see that it's pretty, you'll get a list of essentially, starting this bad. So the way I approached this problem was I didn't know how I was going to approach it. So I actually went to the wiki for, not for this because I didn't want to see a solution. I haven't even looked to see what the wiki solution is yet, honestly, but which because I literally just finished getting this to work and it's getting late, so I wanted to record the video because like the other ones afterwards I went and looked. But the way I approached this was essentially I went to the wiki for Project Red because I wasn't familiar with all the different gates it had. Like I know the basic ones it has, but to see if there was anything else funky. And the one that caught my eye was this right here, the bus converter. So essentially what the degasser is doing, as it says, it's outputting a signal between 0 and 16. This thing takes a signal between 0 and 16 and converts it into the 16 different colors, like it'll output along here. So in this case, we actually got the rare case where it is. And oh shit. It's going to fail the cycle because I'm rookie. There we go. Nope. There we go. Now it's going to do it. It's going to fail the cycle because I did it too late. But yeah, it's whatever. It's fine if it fails the cycle. So sorry, I got distracted because I realized the mistake. But I'm glad I was looking because I would have, who knows how long that mistake would have been running. And that's because the AND gate, it needs all 3 inputs unless you indicate that it's not here. But again, so essentially what's happening, this guy is outputting a signal between 0 and 15. And if you type into Google 0 to 15 in bytes, you'll get essentially just a list of 16 sets of zeros and ones, which, to just keep myself from losing my mind, I screenshotted before I did this process, but also if we were to look in here. So what the numbers go in descending order from 15 down to 0 in the same order as the spray can and the hatch priority colors. So, black, red, green, brown, blue, yada, yada, yada. And then what we got going on, so say, for example, right now where this one's activated, this is actually outputting a byte of 0. And then if we're to output any of the other bytes, it would light up one of these. So now it just finished the cycle. So it's outputting a byte of 374, or sorry, it's outputting a byte of 4, which goes into this guy. I labeled these in the same as the bytes just to not drive myself nuts trying to remember channels. If white had a channel, this guy would be 370, but then we got 1, 2, all the way up through 15 here. In this case, 85 represents the 15. So this guy's byte 4. If we were to look at here, its byte is actually 0100. And this is important because if you look like 0011, obviously this one is 4 zeros. 1 is 00010, 2 is 0010, and so on. And again, if you type that into Google, it'll just give you the list of the 15. Now, those bytes are important because, again, if we go to this tooltip, when you're looking at it, it says bit 1. So that'll be the rightmost of those 4 numbers you get. So if that bit has a number in it, which is essentially 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, I believe it's literally just every odd bit. If I'm remembering correctly, yep, every odd bit will have a 1. That will then correlate to, you need to do the next step of the logic chain, which is, okay, if it's essentially if it's an odd number between 0 and 15, bits 2 and 3, do those make up 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, which, as you can see, interpret bits 2 through 3 as a 2-bit number. So you ignore the leftmost and rightmost number. You just look, is it 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, or 1, 1? And then just based on that, like the four different combinations you can get, that then correlates to an output. So for example, 371 ends in 1, but it's 0, 0 in the middle, so this is 0. So this correlates to helium over here. Then we go to 373, it's 0, 0, 1, 1, or again, there's a 1 at the end, so ignore the end in the front number, 0, 1. It means that corresponds to the this guy over here, which is neon, and then so on for 375 and 377. Now, that's not all of it though, because if you're going, okay, what about the other 4 end? Now, in my first iteration, because I was literally just to keep it simple for myself, I was going through step by step here. So all of these guys here actually were more like this over here, where I had 371 and then 379, I believe. Yep, because it's 1 and 0, 0, outputting to this signal to get this to work. However, that will fail it. Because if we just to jump a little ahead on it, if you go down to this bit 4, if this bit 4 has a number on, so essentially if it's 10 or higher, you're going to not count it. So you don't actually need all of these transmitters like I have set up here. Now, I don't mind this because now when I'm like sitting above, I can see what the active bit is, and we happen to get bit 0 again, which it says is supposed to be a rare one, but you know. Anywho, now it's bit 6, so it's over here. So then the next step, if we go down to, let's see, bits 2 and bit 3, if bit 2 is on, you'll have to essentially input one, you only have to input one thing. But you go back to that list you got from Google of 0 to 15, and everyone with all of the ones that have a 1 in the second position. So like 372 is 0010. This 10011. All we're looking at the second bit is the 1, and that ends up being 2, 3, 6, and 7. And then for the third step, it's if the third bit has a 1 in it, which ends up correlating to 4, 5, 6, and 7. If any of those are on, we come out here. And so the reason I had to iterate a few times after I got that initial setup going is this degasser, as you can see, like it stays on the whole time. It's not like when you input the fluid, because you have to input the exact amount of fluid for this to work, it says. And if you don't input, it'll just fail. So we went for kind of, this is not the actual one, right? Yeah. Went for the standard, let me do it this way so I don't break it. Regulator and machine cover with the regulator going on import and machine processing state. I did the amount that it's required for 20 ticks. Now, this is important because the maximum ticks this can go to is 200 or 2048. A cycle of the water plant is 2400 ticks. So unfortunately, that you can't just do the simple thing of, oh, just input 1 every 2400 ticks and have it work out. I think if I did it as 61 seconds, that might work. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I might have over designed with this timer repeater. Essentially, what I went with as my solution for that is, oh, look at that. I put it, it's like it knew I picked that guy up, which will be fine. So this, as now the way I've got it going is we've got the signal it needs going into a NOT gate, or in this case over here where there's multiple signals that can turn on, all of them combined together, go into the NOT gate so it works if any one of these 4 turn on. Then that goes into a timer, which is just set to 110 seconds, so most of the cycle, which then goes into a repeater. I originally did this at 8 seconds. I changed it to 16 because 8 seconds wasn't long enough for the machine control cover to register, it seemed. And then I just did the input bus or the regulator for the exact amount at 20 ticks, which is more than what this will ever be on for, so it won't stay on. Like I said, I think now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm pretty sure I overcomplicated this and probably could have just done it as signal to regulator at set at essentially 1201 ticks, and it should have been fine. Now that so this is a little overkill, but I like the way it looked out. And then obviously I always do these buffer tanks. You don't actually need to do this. I know you can do a dual interface right on top of the fluid. I like doing it this way because if I have any issues and I want to troubleshoot, this will get it done for me. Also, I'm not sure if it actually worked there, but let's see. Have we been gaining fluid? Yes. So yeah, that's my solution for this. I did obviously configure this in with the logic circuit I have downstairs so that I'm running a single threaded line. Excuse me. Yeah, why am I having trouble on the stairs? Which is this guy. Again, I did not design this one. This is ripped straight from the wiki. This was not in any part of me. This is copy paste from a wiki for this one. So yeah, I really enjoyed the grade 7 water. Now that we have grade 7 water, though, the next step for me, and I don't know how big or small of a step this is to start aiming towards this UIV circuit here. I knew I needed to do water to get this part because this required the water to unlock, which I think maybe this one didn't need the water. Something somewhere needs the grade 7 water. I'm almost positive before we can get to that UIV circuit. So no matter which part it was, I needed to do it. So my goal, we'll see if I can get this done tomorrow. If I don't get this done tomorrow, I probably won't do a video tomorrow, but and then I'll just do one on the weekend whenever I finish this up, or Monday. But we'll see. There's a big card tournament tomorrow, so I don't know. I probably should spend more time practicing my deck for that than playing GTNH, but I feel like I'm on a roll, so I don't want to stop. Fail. Priorities and all that jazz. So we'll see which one I end up doing first. But I appreciate you for watching. If you have any questions about my setup, feel free to let me know below, and I'll be more than happy to ask them or even show in more detail next time if I miss something. Otherwise, I will see you either tomorrow, this weekend, or Monday. Have a good night. Bye.